Hello everybody, welcome back to another video here today on the channel, and I just don't agree with this decision Viking Motorsports have made in regards to Matt DiBenedetto. Literally less than 3 races left in the NASCAR Xfinity Series season for 2025. Literally right before Talladega, which is Monday, as I'm recording this, Matt DiBenedetto was let go from the team effective immediately. Well, for what reason, to be exact, they didn't give a reason. But people are assuming that it's sponsorship. And an example of this is that they're going to put Connor Mosack in the car for the final 3 races of the season. Now, I'm going to say this sincerely. This is come from straight from my heart. I think what that team did was beyond stupid. Because Matt DiBenedetto, without them, they wouldn't even be existing, pretty much. Because that was like their first driver. And they were committed to him. But now they're going that hungry power sponsorship route, which killed Brandon Built Motorsports, which killed our motorsports. They're going to be the next ones out. Unless if AM Racing hires the you-know-who to drive their 25 car, number 25 car, for 2026. But like, the Matt DiBenedetto disrespect is just stupid. Honestly, he's really underappreciated, because think about this. 2020, during the pandemic, he got into the chase on like pure raw speed in the year where like COVID effed everything up, and he even contended for a few wins that same season as well, and even almost nearly won Bristol the previous year with Levine Family Racing. And then when he got to trucks, he won in 2022 at Talladega, which was pretty cool to see. And finally win a race after being screwed so many times in his career. And he also made the chase in 2023 on pure raw speed in the Truck Series, driving for basically a C-tier truck. But I'm supposed to believe the narrative that this guy sucks and he's a bust? Like, what type of crack are people on, or like medication or whatever? Because he's no bust. It's like, define a bust. Define an NASCAR bust. This guy just never had like a Hendrick car his whole entire career. His best opportunity was with the Wood Brothers, and that's basically, at that time, was a B, or middle between B and C tier team. Maybe more so B, but you get what I mean. They weren't like an actual. They were a Penske car, yes, but they weren't like using like all of Penske's resources. So they weren't like an A tier, top tier Ford team, if you know what I mean. He did the most out of that car, and like. Same with Rockley War in the Truck Series. Now, yes, he did announce that he was leaving early, like 3 races left in the season after being eliminated from the chase, because he fought, I guess he had a deal with Colleague, but it didn't come to fruition. But then it didn't give Rockley War to literally take out or fire their guy that got them a win. Got them their one and only win to date as I'm recording this video. This weekend at Talladega will be 3 years since they last won a race. That was like their only win with Matt DiBenedetto. Literally, without Matty D, they would be winless. Like, sure, Matty D abruptly leaving the team can be, I don't know, a little bit shady, but like at the same time, you don't do that. You finish what you damn started. Don't like boot people to the curb just because they decided to go a different route for the next season. Like are you kidding me? That just comes across as like really unprofessional and stupid. Exactly like perfect example of this is on Twitter, the admin for the Broccoli War Racing account blocking people. Like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, that's not a way to handle criticism. Like, people were rightfully handing them out criticism, and they basically just blocked people that they didn't agree with. And now basically it's the same thing for Viking Motorsports. They were committed to Matt DiBenedetto, but because someone else like Chris Wright has like more sponsorship than DiBenedetto, that's who they're going to probably sign for next year, and that's just an unfortunate cause for that team. They're going to go from like an up and coming team that had like ECR support to basically just another team that could be done after the next season because Chris Wright basically murdered our motorsports and Brandon built motorsports by constantly tearing up their shit, and he's gonna probably most likely do that to Viking Motorsports if they hire him, or AM Racing, depending on which team hires that guy who honestly shouldn't even be racing in NASCAR anymore. Like DiBenedetto is way more deserving of that ride than somebody like Chris Wright. Like, are you kidding me? Like that's everything that's wrong with today's business model in NASCAR. Like it provides or like it encourages like garbage. It doesn't reward talent. It doesn't reward like consistent drivers. It rewards just basically rich kids, nepo babies, or like people who only have the ride because like their dad is or mother is like a owner of a company or like they're like a or part of the team, if you know what I mean. Like it's not a good way to run a business. And Matt DiBenedetto is like he got screwed over for like the second or third time now in like less than 5 years. Well, like because basically, like when you think about it, 2022 got replaced with Harrison Burton. Burton had done nothing, basically, his whole entire stint outside of the in the top first two seasons he drove the 21 car. He only had like one top five and like a handful of top tens. Like honestly, his really only bright spot that whole entire the time and within the 2 year span, unless I'm forgetting something, was at like a 6th or 7th place run at Darlington in the spring 2023 race. But then 2024 happened. He won somehow. That was like his only top five and second top 10 of the season, but yet gets in the chase. He gets the win, which I'll give him credit for. But in a span of like 3 seasons after DiBenedetto's 2 seasons with the team, he has not come close once to beating any of DiBenedetto's stats, whether it be top 5s, top 10s, average finish, average start. Like, you get what I mean. Even though he won the race doesn't mean he's necessarily better than DiBenedetto. And then 2024 happened. They put Ty Dillon in the car. Ty Dillon moved back down to the Truck Series last year. I keep forgetting that he did that because Reckley War is just a very forgettable team without DiBenedetto, to be quite honest. Even then, Ty Dillon still gets replaced mid-season, and they put the owner's son in the car or in the truck, basically going into the nepo baby route. Say what you want about Ty Dillon, but at least he doesn't use his name to always drive Richard Childress cars. He drives for like the more small, crappier teams that have like lesser speed, if you know what I mean. Like just look back to 2021. He drove for Gunt Brothers Racing, a completely different team compared to RCR for the Cup Series. Probably should have made the 2021 Daytona 500, but because NASCAR's, I guess the way of how they get people to qualify for the Daytona 500 is kind of broken. Because Ty Dillon was in the top 10 when Cindric was like a lap down I remember that dual race very correctly, and even though I don't mind Austin Cindric now compared to then, you have to admit, even as an Austin Cindric fan, that title got screwed. But anyways, now and then DiBenedetto now gets replaced by Connor Mozak, who's done absolutely nothing in the Truck Series season so far. He's granted he's driving for like the third or fourth best full time McAnally Hilgerman racing truck. To be granted, to be honest, to be fair to his defense, but this is where it gets frustrating. Because Connor Mozak should be doing better than what he's doing, but he's not. And to further prove my point, basically, he only won one race while driving for the number 18 Joe Gibbs Racing ARCA car. A car that just a year or two prior was dominated by both Corey Heim and Ty Gibbs. I think both won their respective championships, unless if Corey Heim was driving for Venturini. I don't know. I could have maybe I don't it could I don't remember who drove the 18 car. No, that was Drew Dollar. Remember that guy? Jeez. That guy has not been in the sport for 3 years. But anyways, getting back on point. You get what I mean. Ty Gibbs won like 10 races in 2021, and if Drew Dollar wasn't in the car, it probably would have won a decent more races, but the guy only won, like, I'm not even exaggerating, the guy only won one race out of like 10, like at least almost 50 starts. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but he had plenty of starts to win races, but he only won once. And he really hasn't done anything since then. Sure, he drove for Junior Motorsports, but even then, it's been kind of overwhelming in the Xfinity Series. Like, I only remember him for helping Justin Allgaier win the title last year, and to some extent. But outside of that, he's been very unforgettable in Xfinity, and yet Viking Motorsports are expecting more from him than Matt DiBenedetto. Are you kidding me? Just because he has more sponsorship? Like, what type of stupidity is that? Like, let's take a second. Let's take a minute to think about this. And just the fans, the overall smug fans that are like acting toxic about it. Like DiBenedetto's some bad guy. Like I recently went back on Twitter just to see basically to check up on diecasts that I hope would get made, like the JJ Yaley car and the Timmy Hill car. But when I saw that, there was people calling him and I'm not kidding you, they were calling him a transphobe. Which is just unbelievably dumb, in my opinion. Because Matt DiBenedetto, what he said back in 2021 wasn't inaccurate whatsoever. But yet these people have a mindset like that, and what do you know? If they don't agree with one's opinion, they'll just leave them as anything. Just because they can. And they can get away with it. That's why I distance myself from Twitter. That's why I've gotten off of there altogether. I used to use Twitter, like you see in my community posts on this account that basically that I'm signed out of Twitter on this account. Like, I don't use that account anymore. I just use it just to see if those cars made MOQ by like NASCAR diecast fans or Lionel Racing, but like it's unfortunate to still see people acting like that, and people acting like, oh, Matt DiBenedetto would be crying in a video reacting to that. Well, I feel like he has every single right to, in regards to both Rackley War and Viking Motorsports. Wood Brothers is debatable. Like, he did say, let's go Brandon, which we'll not get into that in this video, because that killed Brandon Brown's career. But, like, even then, he said it as a joke. He didn't, like, say it just because he hates the liberals or whatever. Like, that's what a lot of people in this culture just don't seem to get. And It's very frustrating. Absolutely is frustrating. And like the Wood brothers, I know for a fact he probably could have won a cup race if they kept him for the next gen car, but he got kicked to the curb, went back down to the truck series because just life isn't perfect, man. They just prioritize like people's names over like talent. Like back in 2002, you could win with an unsponsored car. That was proven by Scott Wimmer, driving a sponsorless black or white Bill Davis Racing number 20 free car, number 22 car. By the way, rest in peace to Bill Davis. About a month ago, he tragically passed away. In fact, this year's been terrible when it came to NASCAR owners passing away. Like first you had, I forgot his name, but he was the owner of Haradi Racing Enterprises. He passed away in a car crash. Basically, the team shut down after that. You really hate to see that. Then the owner of Henderson Motorsports passed away, the Truck Series team. The former co-owner of Morgan McClure Motorsports, the iconic Kodak number 4 machine. Chevrolet from the 1990s that won Daytona 500s. Then you had, who else did you have? You had the owner of Base Motorsports, the number 74 car that used to have Tony Raines as their driver, passed away. Like, it's been a terrible year when it came to, team owners passing away, and just it's very sad, like, to know what this year has been like, pretty much. And I might have forgotten somebody, but like there's like so many good people in the NASCAR world that passed away, and it's heartbreaking. But like, I don't even know what I remember I was talking about. But like, my point is that, yeah, going back to Scott Wimmer, like he won races without any sponsorship. Even Ty Gibbs won with no sponsorship in 2021. Like, just because you have no sponsorship doesn't mean you shouldn't be kicked out of NASCAR. Like, that's so stupid, man. If you have enough talent like Matt DiBenedetto has been able to show for the last couple of years in the lower series and even in the Cup Series when he got in the chase in 2020, not by gimmicks, just by pure speed and raw talent, to be able to get there. Like, that should be enough to keep you in the Cup Series or keep you in NASCAR and together in general. Like there were, like, to give you an idea of how bad this business model is. When Lowe's was leaving Jimmy Johnson after 2018, there was a realistic possibility that Jimmy Johnson could have lost that ride. It was reported that year that he could have lost it until Ally, which was formerly known as GMC or GMAC Bank, became Ally, and they sponsored him from 2019 to 2020 when he retired. That's just to give you a good idea of how awful this business model is. And that was in 2018. That was 7 years ago. Now you basically got rich kids that are like 18 to 22 years old, 25 years old even, just hogging up rides that they really didn't deserve just because their dads are the owners of something. Like, for example, William Sawalage, although he's really talented, really hasn't done anything this year in Xfinity. I'd say he's been rushed up way too soon. But he only has that Joe Gibbs Racing ride because his father or grandfather owns the company that sponsors him. Brandon Jones, his dad, is or works at a Menards. That's how he has the sponsorship. And then I could be wrong, but like someone like said that Christopher Bell had like a family to do with like Ream. I could be wrong. Take that with a grain of salt, but at least Bell has enough talent to back that up. I'm not saying, Brandon Jones isn't untalented and William Sawalage isn't untalented. I'm just using them as a joke. Or as a, not a joke. What the fuck am I talking about? As an example. Like, you're telling me that those guys can be in the sport even though they really haven't done any much better than DiBenedetto, but yet DiBenedetto, driving for like basically small teams his whole entire career, gets to like, doesn't get to have the chance to race in NASCAR anymore? Like, really? Like, are you kidding me? Let's be real for a second here. I just don't agree with the hate. I just don't. I think it's forced. I think it's toxic, and I think the fans need to chill out about Matt DiBenedetto. Just because I don't give a fuck what you think about him, what he said back in 2021. That doesn't matter. If you're really gonna be stuck in the past, so be it. Just leave your miserable thoughts to yourself. But we're in 2025. This is like this is like a quarter of a century into the new millennium. 2025 is much different than it was in 2021. The cars are different. The trucks are even different, and the Xfinity cars are different. Going to get a new sponsor next year. Truck Series even has a new title sponsor as well with the Xfinity Series. I just don't agree with the narrative of what people are saying about Matt DiBenedetto. I just don't. I still think he's really I still think after that 2019 Bristol run that he had driving for Levine Family Racing, and even that 2016 Bristol run with BK Racing, might I add, where he got a sixth place finish, that'll forever prove to me that he does have talent. Just like how I think with Corey LaJoie, how basically he got 16th at Las Vegas in a TriStar Motorsports car. Remember that team, TriStar Motorsports 72 car, back in 2018? He got 16th at Las Vegas. I know that's 10 spots worse than DiBenedetto with BK Racing, but you got to keep that in mind. That both drivers have done more than people bargained them for. Even to an extent, Jeffrey Earnhardt too. And yet, all of these guys are barely still in the sport, still racing in this sport. But people like Chris Wright get to still roam around and do basically nothing. Even Tony Brodinger, no disrespect to Tony Brodinger, it's cool to see a female driver and a former Victoria's Secret model be in sport, but she just isn't good at NASCAR. I'm sure she's good at other stuff, but racing isn't her strong point. And I'd even say to an extent, and I hate to say this because I really respect this dude, Frankie Muniz. We all know why he's in NASCAR and why he has those rides, because of the Malcolm in the Middle role, and even maybe due to the Fairly Odd Parents, and that he has a good chunk of money behind his back that he could use. And even Cletus McFarland too. As another thing that I hate to say. Because although they're living out their dreams, they might not always have the talent as DiBenedetto has, if you know what I mean by that. DiBenedetto has raced longer than these guys, has actually experience, could actually keep his cars clean when no stupid stuff happened, and he's the one that gets punished for it. Does he burn bridges? Maybe, but at the same time, he and Brett Moffitt are two guys that are so talented, and even Kyle Weatherman, they're so good at racing, or they're really good, but then you get people like Dylan Lumpton, you get people like that still coming around every now and then, basically hogging up the rides that they could be having and doing absolutely nothing with it. And now with Harrison Burton, they kicked him to the curb for AM Racing. They basically knocked him out of the seat when Harrison Burton could have easily gave them their first ever win. But here's the thing, unlike with Viking Motorsports and Reckley War, AM Racing is actually going to let Harrison Burton finish the bloody season. Are these teams that pathetic to not let their teams or drivers finish the season with them? If I have to give AM Racing one thing, I guess I'll give them that. Because they're not greedy, they're not going to replace them with Chris Wrong. Because they still believe in him, even if they're parting ways at the end of the season. Just like with Spire Motorsports with Corey LaJoie last year. Corey LaJoie did a lot for the team, and yet didn't let him finish off the rest of the season for the team. And now, even though he reunited with them in the Truck Series, he didn't get to end off his tenure with how he built the team, like how Casey Mears did with Germain Racing from 2012 to 2016, or 2011 to 2016. I don't know. I just find it really unfortunate that people think like that about Matty D. Oh, he has 0 wins. He's done nothing. Well, look at Sheldon Creed. He has no wins, but he's done a lot. He's consistently been able to finish second, something Matt DiBenedetto has done as well. And it just, what blows my mind is, I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but like, you don't need to always win races to be good in racing. You could, if you're consistently finishing well, like how Matt DiBenedetto has been within the last couple of years outside of this year, because basically the team he's driving for is like an upgraded, barely faster version of the Cope Family Racing number 70 car, and just barely, it doesn't even have any support, manufacturer support, or it may have ACR, but like, or RCR stuff, but it's not like one of the top tier teams of the series. And like they kick him to the curb right before they're going to go to Talladega, one of DiBenedetto's best tracks he's raced in NASCAR. Got a top 5 for them in the spring, and they're not even going to let him try and get the win for them. Instead, they're gonna roll the dice and gamble on someone who just isn't good. And that being Connor Mosack, who's just done nothing in the Truck Series. I just find that very frustrating and annoying, because DiBenedetto deserves better than this. He really does. I saw plenty of respect for the guy. I don't agree with the hate. I just think a lot of fans love to overreact to some certain stuff, and poor old Matty D is not an exception to that. I need to get that off my chest, man. Like, if Ricky Stenhouse Jr. can still be in the sport, and I'm saying this as a Ricky Stenhouse Jr. fan, if Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is still able to be in the sport constantly and consistently, because he can win races or get good finishes driving for the number 47 Hayek Motorsports team, then Corey LaJoie, Brett Moffitt, Jeffrey Earnhardt, Matt DiBenedetto, and I'm trying to think of another driver, Kyle Weatherman, should still be in the sport. It's simple as that. Not Chris Wright, not any of those people. Those 5 folks I mentioned should still be racing in the sport. And I still believe they're hundreds of times better than Chris Wright will ever be in racing. And yet they won't get ever the credit that they deserve. Even Stenhouse doesn't get the credit that he deserves for what he's been able to do for that 47 car, number 47 team and car. It's frustrating. It's absolutely frustrating to know that these fans have that type of mindset to call them, oh, he's transphobic or whatever. Like, give me a fucking break and grow a pair, all right? I don't know why that affects you so much. He didn't say that about you. It's just frustrating. It's just absolutely frustrating. And I really hate that NASCAR has to have fans like that. Because it gives the sport a whole bad look, bad reputation, and there you go. So it's basically, there's my in defense video, Matt DiBenedetto. Unless I want to like show, I guess, his like racing reference results, just to give you an idea what I'm talking about. If you don't even know, if you don't even watch NASCAR, you're probably like, what the hell are you talking about? But almost 30 minutes in the video, I might even show you what I mean by this. So, great. That's crypto. What the hell? Okay, that's weird. I don't know. But what I might do is I might show his racing reference results and go over his truck's results and show you what I'm talking about. Because, this guy doesn't get enough credit that he deserves. Okay? Let's go. Alright, I'm here on racingreference.com on Matt DiBenedetto. And we go down, we're going to start off at the Cup Series level. Right here. As you can see, first year, driving for BK Racing. Didn't have much to expect from him. But the next year, he got a top 10 finish at Bristol, driving for the 83 car. And that was like BK Racing's only highlight of the moment. In 2017, he got 2 top 10s. One of them came at the Indianapolis 500 or 400, I believe. Granted, it was a wreck fest, but he still was able to come home with a clean finish and basically a Go Fast racing car, which Eric Easta compared to the faster Rick Ware racing car. 2018, he only had 1 top 10, but in that time, he was able to show what he had on the road courses, if you remember correctly. He was like running top 20, even at times top 15, if he had a good day. 2019, he got 3 top 5s, 7 top 10s. One of those top 5s was the top 5 finish at Bristol, where he finished second. Led a good chunk of the race late in the going, but just lost barely to Denny Hamlin. He got 4th at Sonoma, out of nowhere. I'm surprised he even got 4th, but that just shows you how good he is. And then I don't remember where his third top 5 finish was, to be honest, because this was 6 years ago. Then 2020 happened. He has 3 top 5s again, but he has 11 top 10s. Damn near almost won a couple races. In particular, he almost won. I think he almost won Talladega that year. Las Vegas, the fall race. And I think there was another race that I'm forgetting that he just came so close to winning. But painfully fell short. But that year, he did pretty good for his standards. Got into the chase, had an average finish of 14.8. Compared to the last few seasons, as you can see, the average finish went up. Now, to be fair, 2021 was a downgrade, 2 less top 10s, still 3 top 5s, but wasn't still in contention to get wins and still had an average finish of 16.9. And to be completely honest with y'all, Wood Brothers wasn't at their greatest moment or greatest peak like they kind of are now. And yet he has not raced once in the next gen car, which I find baffling, to tell you the truth. How can people like Joey Gase get to be able to race in the next gen car? But I mean, I'm not dissing Joey Gase, by the way. I like Joey Gase, but how can people like Joey Gase and even how can people like that be able to race who really haven't done anything in NASCAR? Once again, I want you to keep in mind, I have all the respect in the world for Joey Gase, for his team, his sponsors, his drivers, but how come he and others get to have some starts, but not Matt DiBenedetto? That just blows my mind. But now you go down to the Xfinity Series. This goes way back to 2009. He was like a teenager. I think he drove for Joe Gibbs Racing around this time. But then right around here, he was driving for the Motorsports group in the Xfinity Series. And definitely not even a top 20 group. No pun intended. But not even a top 20 organization. Who did he drive for in 2016? I don't remember. If we do care to look. As we're just going to close the ads. Okay. Which team did he drive for? He drove for TriStar Motorsports. And the results speak for itself because the team, wow, he got 11th at Kansas. Started 13th too. Even in crappy equipment like that, he was able to get good finishes. That's why you always got to check Racing Reference before you make those type of comments. 2019, I forgot which track he was racing on. I think it was Road America or Mid-Ohio. He almost won the race. He was going to finish second before he spun himself out. And then he returned to the Xfinity Series, driving for basically what was the RSS Racing number 38 car, just rebranded as the Viking Motorsports 38 car, and he got 3 top 10s out of that. And he did pretty good. I know he got 1 in Michigan, he got 1 at Talladega, and he got 1 somewhere else. I don't think it was a drafting track. I think it was do I dare go on here and look? Oh God. Where did he get a top 10 finish? Iowa. He got a top 10 finish at Iowa. Okay, at least that odd's not inappropriate. And then this year, although he has only one top 5 and one top 10, you got to remember the team isn't good. It's basically the low budget version of what the car or the team was last year. With no manufacturer support, and yet they think going to the sponsorship route where they sign pay drivers is going to fix anything. I'm sorry, but that won't. Just, you've seen what happened with Brandon Built Motorsports, Our Motorsports, JD Motorsports. You saw what happened with all those teams. They went bankrupt. Which is unfortunate, but it's the truth. And now we go down to the Truck Series. Right here. 2022, you got a win at Talladega. I actually have the die cast over here behind me. The 164 scale version of it. He has one win, being there's only one top 5 this season, but he has 7 top 10s. You keep this in mind. 2023, even though he doesn't have wins, he has 2 top 5s and 12 top 10s. He probably would have been able to get another top 10, or another top 10 or 2 in the last 3 races of the season if Reckley Ward wasn't pussies and gotten rid of him out of pettiness or pittiness, if you know what I mean. And then blocked people who were criticizing them. Average finish of 14.0 in 2023 in the Truck Series. What was his average finish in the Xfinity Series? Right here, sure, it wasn't as the best as in the Truck Series, but like, it's the type of equipment he's driving. Like, honestly, let's just keep this in mind for a second. Like, DiBenedetto did have some decent races last year, if I can remember, but always something happened and it like derailed his season, or derailed his races and average finish. But like, he almost won a couple races, and it's mainly like, just he's doing what he needed to do for the team. But apparently it's not good enough because they want to go the sponsorship route, which is unfortunate. So yeah, that's basically it right there. I don't know what else to say. Just, I think Viking Motorsports made a fatal mistake. A very stupid one at that, because they got rid of their driver that helped them even exist to begin with. Without DiBenedetto, they probably wouldn't have came into NASCAR. Excuse me. And not even a year and a half later, not even 2 years later, they kick him to the curb. Just, that's not a good way to run your business. I'm sorry, but it just isn't. So I just want to hear what you guys think. If you want to see ARCA right down here as well. Like, he only ran 2 ARCA races. The last one was like 14 years ago. He actually does have an ARCA East win, 2011. Actually 3 of them. For what it's worth. He has 3 wins within that time. Probably for Joe Gibbs Racing. And then that's pretty much it right there. So, I just wanted to make this video because it states to all these delusional fans that DiBenedetto isn't talentless and he doesn't suck and he's not a bust. It's just these clueless fans that just don't look at Racing Reference, and it's unfortunate. It really shows the kind of mentality some of these people have. But anyways, that's all I gotta say. I'm gonna leave it at 39 minutes for Ryan Sieg. Hopefully he can win a race. Now that I left it at 39 minutes at Talladega, but I highly doubt it. If he does win at 39 minutes with the 39 car at Talladega, with this video being at 39 minutes, it's going to be fucking eerie. But anyways, I'm going to be happy anyways. But either way, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you next time. Okay? Peace out.